this stopped again. God darn it. I'm sorry. Somehow that keeps happening. All right, we've rotated the crankshaft 4 more times, 2 to get around and 2 there. We're just looking at the back side of the cams for alignment. We're looking at the mating surfaces of the camshaft cover and the cylinder head. This is slightly out. Not like absolutely perfect, but maybe a degree or so. Intake cam is right where it should be, so that exhaust cam is giving us a little bit of a problem, but that's okay. It's there. So we know that if there were anything, since it's slightly short of being parallel with those casings, if anything on the timing side, we'd be looking at a timing mark that is just slightly behind. And actually that's not the case. Our timing mark is actually just to the front side. Okay, timing mark just to the front part of center from that notch. So still in the notch, just center, which would mean the cam would be slightly over rotated, but back here it's slightly under rotated. But the VVT hub will take it into account. We'll account for that. Let me just double check. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's virtually squared up. It's really, really close. And I think for the purposes of the engine. All right, recap. 2006 S60 T5 motor, white block. We have now done the timing belt, we've done the tensioner pulley, we've done the idler pulley, we have done the seals behind both VVT hubs. The VVT hub bolts have been both torqued, center bolts have been torqued to 120 Newton meters. The water pump has been done. I do need to double check all of the bolts. There's 7 for the water pump. That one's not one of them. That one. There's one on the back side, hiding back there, back behind the belt. I do need to double check all of those for proper torque. Our center tensioner has been set to 15 foot-pounds. The mounting, and that actually is the mount. The idler tension bolts, the idler pulley, that one right there, and there's one directly underneath the idler pulley. Those have been set to their torque spec at 18.5 foot-pounds. And with that, we're basically at the point where we have the timing belt is in place, brand new. Crankshaft is set to top dead center. Everything's been cleaned, new seals. So with that, I apologize for the nature of having these 3 videos. But basically this is just the recap on that. In the previous video we showed the strut bar being taken off in order that the plastic wiring housing can be lifted up and out so we can get to the T55 center bolt. Of course, the cross members come off because we had to place the cam locking tool in the back. And so all those are going to need to be torqued down to spec. Engine mount obviously is off. Going to put the center cap back on. Those center caps need to go to 35 Newton meters, which is, I believe, I'll have to double check, but I'll use my small torque wrench for that. And we'll get those done. Then we just have the flywheel to put on. The accessory belt drive pulley, which is new, sitting over there. And we showed you how to take the box off in order to access the center bolt here and get the proper torque there, unless of course you have a torque wrench that fits right in this gap right here. What else has been going on? We'll do a review. New IPD DO88 hoses, top and bottom, coolant reservoir to radiator. New radiator has been put in. That is a stock unit. I'll tell you one thing about the stock radiator unit real quick while we're here, is that these plastic clips are available. IPD has a set. They're for the, if I'm not mistaken, that might be for the turbo coolant lines. And when I pulled those out, they definitely broke. Pinch. So new ones were available for just a couple of bucks. We'll get this is our electric fan connection wiring. We'll get the electric fan in, and we'll talk about the sandwich of the radiator as well when we're there. We'll still need to do this clamp. Water pump housing was left as it is. It was just cleaned up. Oh, sorry, power steering line's in the way. Okay, water pump housing was clean. I had a lot of crusties going over there and down, so we'll have to see if that gasket's going to need to be replaced. If so, we'll probably just wind up replacing the whole entire thermostat housing, because again, at 225,000 miles, we're just hoping that we don't find the leak spot. Back here on the back, we still need to tighten the coolant hose, and then of course we need to get all of the bracketry and everything up for the cams, rear cams. So while we're here, let's go ahead and do some of that. All right, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these timing sinks, rasters, I believe, I was referring them as stators, because they are basically electronic. They're weighted, probably magnetic, okay, but they're also labeled. This one has IN on it, intake, and of course in the previous video we also did the actual part numbers that are located in there. But the simplest way to know is, since they only go on one way, the teeth at 180 degrees opposite each other, and then the small notch is only going to go one way, and that's going to go in and to the 2 o'clock position. Okay. And then that's an 8mm bolt. There we go. Okay. The other is going to be labeled EX for exhaust. And again, it has a separate part number. Whoops, sorry. And in the previous video, we went ahead and identified that part number as well. So we'll clean this off. These are 8mm heads. They do have a torque value. I have it in my notes. but I'm gonna have to review that. So we'll come back with those torque values as we're reassembling the rest in the next video. But for right now, we are indeed done with this. And again, when we go opposite, 90 degrees and 270 degrees, the slot actually sits down at the 5 o'clock position. So again, these can only go in one way. Okay, and then that locks in, and then 8 mil will get threaded in. The torque, I believe, is around 10 to 20 Newton meters, but I do have the exact number. I just have it in my notes, and of course, didn't decide that we're gonna hopefully get this far in the video, but now that we are, definitely happy for it. Not an 8, actually a 10. Yes, 10. I get my extension. Coupler. Hold that in. We'll just do these hand tight for right now. And then we'll come back and do the covers. We'll start to assemble the bracket that goes up against. Okay, hand tight there. I'm not liking how this one's sitting, so I'm gonna undo it. Double check the alignment. Last thing we need is all right, there we go. Why is that not? Let me see something real quick. Double check those cam locking tools. Get some sort of foreign debris in here. Up. All right. Looks better. All right, so we're just doing these hand tight for now, so they don't wander off. For some reason, that's not looking like it's seated. Okay, definitely sounds seated now. Okay, and I'm sure it would have snuggled up. Just check this one. Very light taps. Just double checking. The exhaust cam tools didn't do any damage to those. Again, a lot of torque getting applied to that, and that's why you want to make sure that that cam locking tool is in the proper position, because you definitely don't want to shear those cam ends. All right, so we're going to need to torque these. Then we have caps that will go on, screws here and here, cap here, screws here and here, and then we'll have our mounting plate that goes on here, here, and here, the 3 bolts. Then we have 1, 2, and then we have 2 bolts that go into this plate that covers everything up once the caps are on. Those are going to get torqued down. I do need to find the 1 bolt because one did come off for the top rear engine mount. And then from there, it's just a matter of reassembling everything from the radiator swap, getting everything tightened up, and then we should be able to throw some coolant in it, double check everything, and give it a spin. But we should be good. Go back, double check timing marks one more time. Rear timing mark on the tooth, coming straight up and slightly forward. Man. No, just the camera. I actually had the camera back here. So the camera is actually now square with the tooth. All right. And we're coming up and we're in time there. And of course on the front, nothing's moved. And we're in time on that one, no doubt about it. All right, so we'll double check our tensioner. Check this out. Temperature is cooling. But that temperature setting is coming in there. I'm gonna double check that center bolt. 15 sure seems like it's awfully loose, but if it is, so be it. So I'll double check that. I'm gonna actually grab my 6mm real quick. Bring this guy back into tension for temperature. No, it's... All right, let's do this. Okay, that is definitely snug. Let's check our temperature here real quick.